This is a review video for Production 2 on using EQ creatively. This is the voice track we've been using in our review videos.
Downtown Belleville is home to the area's most unique music facility. Pinnacle Music Studios is in an historic 3-story building housing a full-line music store.
So that's already been through dynamics processing, so the levels are controlled. Now we're just going to talk about EQ. And the great thing about EQ, you can use it as creatively and as expressively as you want. For example, let's say I'm going to put a conversation that's happening in somebody's house, in their basement. And downstairs in the basement, there's always somebody's really old TV. You know, the one your grandparents had, the big thing in the huge wooden cabinet. And when you turned it on, it went thunk. As that big giant tube warmed up. So if we're going to put the conversation down there, there might be something coming out of the TV. And maybe you want to put, I don't know, put the copy points coming out, have a commercial coming out of the TV, and then your conversation is people reacting to what's going on in that commercial. So if we're going to take our voice and put it in that TV sound, you have to imagine what a TV looks like. If you know what something looks like, you know what it sounds like. It's got this huge cabinet. It's got one tiny little speaker hidden in on the grill on the side, and that speaker's probably about 3 inches, so it's really small. If we go and look in Filter and EQ, and we'll take 10 Band Equalizer, this is one of the times when you can start playing with the presets. If I go to the 1965 preset and look at what they've done, they're taking out all kinds of low frequencies here in the low range and into the mid frequencies, and then all of a sudden they're adding lots and lots of high mids and high frequencies, and then cutting out the very top part, which wouldn't happen anyway. And then the master gain, because they're adding so much acoustic energy here, they have to lower the master gain so the overall level stays down. Well, our original voice track is already right at 0, so I'm going to take away more there. I'm going to make that -9. So let's apply that. So level stays good. So we've added a lot of acoustic energy if I drop the level 9 dB. Now let's play that.
Downtown Belleville is home to the area's most unique music facility. Pinnacle Music Studios is in an historic 3-story building.
So it's got that sound of a small speaker. It doesn't have the same frequency response it would have in its original setting, but it still doesn't sound quite like a TV in the basement. So that's when you have to use a couple of different things together. So we've added the EQ to get that speaker tone. Now we've got to put that speaker tone in space. And we're going to do that with Reverb. Studio Reverb, and we're just going to, again, take a simple preset and modify it. So we'll start with Room Ambience. And when I'm using these presets, I always have my dry level at 100, so that way I'm just dealing with adding the reverb. So if we just listen to this.
Downtown Belleville is home to the area's most unique music facility, Pinnacle Music Studios.
If it's an empty basement with no carpets, concrete wall, concrete floor, right? Maybe a big glass window somewhere.
Downtown Belleville is home to the area's most unique music facility, Pinnacle Music.
It would be a lot more echoey and reverberant. But if there's a lot of stuff in the basement, you would just take that wet level down.
Downtown Belleville is home to the area's most unique music facility. Pinnacle Music Studios is in an historic 3-story building housing a full-line music store.
Or you could even go back and modify that a little bit more. So we'll undo our EQ, go back to the equalizer, and we'll take out a little bit more of this low end and make it sound like a really old, really cruddy speaker. And we'll sort of bring that high end back up a bit, and let's see what that looks like.
Downtown Belleville is home to the area's...
And we can take that a little bit more still. So we'll go back to the effect one more time. So it's still just a little too perfect. So let's just take a little bit more of those mid-ranges out.
Downtown Belleville is home to the area's most unique music facility. Pinnacle Music Studios is in an historic 3-story building housing a full-line music store, specializing in Yamaha pianos, digital pianos, professional and home...
There, now we've got that really kind of worn-out speaker.
Pinnacle Music Studios is in an historic...
Now when we put our reverb on,
Pinnacle Pinnacle Music Studios is in an historic 3-story building housing a full-line music store specializing in Yamaha pianos, digital pianos, professional and home keyboards. Right now, take advantage of a special on Yamaha digital and acoustic pianos.
So now we got that real old beat up TV sound sitting in the basement. But there's more than that we can do. If we want to take that used speaker sound and make it just a little more realistic and use it for a different purpose, there's a trend in alt rock radio stations where your station voice sounds like he's coming over a telephone. You can use that for most of a promo, or you can just use it for accent. And you can start again here with we'll just default, so we clear the preset that we had. And we'll just go thinking what a telephone is. Now, a telephone has really super limited frequency response. So it will start bringing it back in there, and it's got lots and lots of mid-range, and it has no high-end whatsoever. So it's a really simple little peak there. And let's take that, see what that listens like.
Downtown Belleville is home to the area's most unique music facility.
So it's sounding like a telephone. It's got that distortion in there, but you can also see we've got our overlights lit because we're adding more acoustic energy. So we need to cut that down a little bit.
Downtown Belleville is home to the area's most unique music facility. Pinnacle Music Studios is in an historic 3-story building housing a full-line music store specializing in Yamaha pianos, digital pianos, professional and home keyboards. Right now, take advantage of a special on Yamaha digital and acoustic pianos. No payments, no interest for 6 months.
So that's the kind of thing they would do to get that alt rock, really edgy voice sound. And you can use that as an accent, use it on a specific point that you're going to have in your voice track to make something really stand out. Now, EQ, if you don't like what you're getting, just default and start again. That clears what you're doing. The beauty about EQ, like I said, you can be as creative as you want to be. If you're not getting the sound you like, just keep playing with it until something pulls in. Now, remember, you can boost frequencies and you can cut frequencies, and one is just as valid as the other. Don't find yourself getting into the habit of going in and just boosting everything everywhere, because if you do that, you're going to have to cut your master gain so much it's not going to sound as good as, instead of doing boost everything, boost the frequencies you need and cut some of the frequencies you don't need. It's a lot easier on the ear for some reason doing it that way. The gain structure is better. You're not getting as much distortion built into stuff, and it will just sound better. Remember, any changes you make in EQ, if you make them in the waveform window like we are here, they don't take effect until you save the changes. And if you want to save the original, which is a great idea, all you have to do is go save as with a new file name. You'll have two files. One will be the original, one will be the one you put EQ on. You can go back to the original at any time. Take your time with EQ. Try and really think about what something looks like to get that sound, so you match the sound to the picture you have in your head. EQ really makes a difference in helping your productions go to the next level.